may not go to our school board meetings every month. We've also had division and our communities have been separated, east from west, privileged schools from those that struggle. But what we've seen over the last several months since this takeover is every parent, every teacher, every community person, and almost every student that comes up to the mic that ends their speech with the same words, that they are united in their opposition to the $4.4 billion blank check. And that's why they've coined the phrase, no trust, no bond. No trust, no bond. No trust, no bond. Now, to introduce you to the first person I saw put that phrase out on Facebook is our president of the Houston Federation of Teachers, Jackie Anderson.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. I want to first, before I say anything, I'm so honored to have Jason Lee here with us today. Because we know where our friend would be today. We are watching the dismantling of our district in real time. The harm caused by Mike Miles and the TEA takeover is unimaginable. 4,598 teachers have separated from the district this year. 135 schools have experienced principal changes. Mike Miles fired custodial and facilities maintenance staff, forcing them to reapply for their positions with lower pay. And we found out yesterday with fewer hours. If they make 30 hours, they can't work anymore. If they finish it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they're done for that week. So they didn't really get a raise. They actually got a cut in pay. He removed SPED evaluations, specialist speech and other service specialists from the audit services that our students need. He closed libraries and removed librarians. Yes, the egregious spending by Mike Miles is unsurmountable. Hundreds of thousands of dollars on spin bikes, including adult spin bikes for elementary students that still sit in boxes since last year. $470,000 on a convocation. And he has stated he's going to do it again. 37 HISD employees that make over $200,000 a year in his cabinet, which was up from 12 the prior administration when the past superintendent trimmed the fat and had him a white. There has been broken trust with Mr. Miles, and I don't dare call him Superintendent Miles. Miles is asking the curious that he has placed us in a corner, and now he's asking us to give him $4.4 billion for a school bond. And I don't say no, I say hell no. His signature is still on the Third Future Schools bank account. He is still getting a salary from Third Future Schools. Despite this being a clear conflict of interest, it still goes on today. Mike Miles has sent millions of dollars, and the last time I checked, it was $49 million to Third Future Schools in Colorado. That's my tax money. And I wanted to stay here in Texas for Texas schools. How about you? So I say today, no trust, no bond. Let me hear you. No trust, no bond. No bond. No trust, no bond. No trust, no bond. No trust, no bond.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you so much. My name's Jason Lee. My mother is Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, and I just want you all to know how much she loved you all. Your support, your leadership, what you're doing here today meant so much to her, and nothing upset her more towards the end of her life than what's happening at HISD. But what she would tell us now is keep the faith, that this is not the end. This is not the end. And Zeph, Jackie, your friendship, I can't tell you what it meant to her, to our family, and that's why it was important for me to be here today. She was scheduled to speak at this convention. Yeah. But if she were here, she'd tell us to keep fighting. So that's what we'll do. Thank you.
Jason, thank you for those words. You know, it's important as well. We do our job so that our students can stand on their own, so that they can feel supported, so that they can feel the love and the foundational base to become the next citizens that are going to decide the policies of our country. So I would like to bring up Remy Smith, who is a student in HISD. Huh? And Anna Cooper? On an Uber. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that update. Well, let me ask this question. Is Camille here? Yes. All right. We're going to go from the student to the parent. Let me introduce Camille Brio.
Forgive me, I have to use a script or else I will forget everything. My name is Camille Bro, and I'm the mother of children in HISD. I was concerned when the takeover was announced in Houston, and I attended a couple of rallies, but I was too shy to really get involved. I didn't know where my place was. That was until my child's school lost autonomy. For all the mothers out there, we know that having kids pushes us way out of our comfort zones to advocate for our children, and this is a time. This is a pivotal moment when all parents must realize that nobody is safe, not in the affluent areas of Houston, and not really anywhere in this country. What is happening in Houston is one large experiment to be expanded, and with that comes the loss of democracy, the dilution of social and emotional learning, and the harm to our children. None of the parents I talk to see standardized testing as their top priority. They want their children to attend a school where they're nurtured and given the freedom to be themselves in a positive and safe environment. Houston ISD teachers and campus administrators are leaving at an alarming rate. We have tons of vacancies and school starts in 2.5 weeks. This is all due to the hostile climate being fostered by this administration, which upends the stability and collective experience of campus communities. They are doing this on purpose. You cannot afford to sit back and wait for it to happen to your child. One way that parents can protect their children is by protecting certified teachers. I am furious that my child, who requires accommodations, will be taught by non-certified teachers, and that when I bring this up to HISD, they think nothing of it. I know firsthand that children with learning differences need teachers who can meet the diverse needs of their students. The flexibility is being taken away, and when we've pushed back, we're told that we're complaining and teachers are complaining. Parents need to work with teachers, deepen their relationships with the people caring for their children daily, and stand united against the loss of democracy in our schools. Our children deserve better. Thank you.
Thank you, Camille, for those powerful words, because it truly is that relationship between the parent and the teacher and the student that matters the most in the education of our kids. And I want to bring up next a true friend of mine, a true friend of ours, somebody who's gone through this, because this is not the first time we've had oppressive state governments take away our schools. And to prove and show, it is not just the union saying no because we don't want change. The person I'm bringing up next actually tried to go along and help give it a shot. They said, let's see what we can do together. Only to find out they were left to hang out to dry, and the only people that were going to be able to make them change and help get their schools back were their community and their union and their solidarity. And we have lessons to learn from their work in Providence. Lessons to learn from the communities that have stood there together to get schools back into the democratic hands of the communities they belong. I want to bring up my friend and an amazing leader, the president of the Providence Teachers Union, Mary Beth Calabro.
Good afternoon, folks, and I bring you greetings from the smallest state in the country to the biggest state in the country. We have had the unfortunate circumstance to be under state control for the past 4.5 years. Our state control started with a governor who was a dino, Democrat in name only. After she pillaged our pension to the point where we have to work upwards of 12 to 13 more years to get 40% of our salary, she decided that she wanted to take over the Providence Public School Department because, you see, Gina was upwardly mobile. She is now a cabinet member. And she got to the cabinet office by stepping on the backs of students and teachers across our state. We often say, as goes Providence, so goes the rest of the state. In our circumstance, as goes cities and districts that have been taken over, so goes the rest of our country. Our education system is under attack. We are a democratic organization in a democratic country who has fallen victim to the whims of people searching for higher political office and power, to the detriment of our children, our most valuable resource, our children who are the future of our country. Our children who are future leaders, future teachers, future doctors, future lawyers, and sadly, future politicians. Yes, the good ones, only the good ones. For the past 4 years, we have been told in Providence, you are the worst of the worst. There is no one in this country that is a worse teacher than a Providence public school teacher. It was even stated that you were worse than Appalachia, and that was a quote from our commissioner, appointed commissioner who came from New York. Thanks, New York, you can have her back anytime. No? Okay. We'll keep her then. Not only did she come in and vilify us every single week for 6 weeks in the community by saying we had no moral compass, by saying that we should be ashamed of ourselves, by saying it's amazing that we could put our heads on the pillow at night because of what we had done to our children. And what we had done to our children should have been illegal. Are we a district in disarray? Yes, we are. Have we struggled? Yes, we have. And the Providence Teachers Union stood strong and accounted for our own participation in that devolution. We were not acknowledged in that, but we were run over. We were bowled over. And then when it came time for us to negotiate a contract, the commissioner came in, threw our contract to the side, and handed us a completely new document from page 1 to page whatever that was literally a copy and paste job from Lawrence Public Schools. She offered us nothing and took away almost everything. We did not relent. We did not deter our focus on getting a contract that was good for students and good for teachers. But amazingly, in our conversations with the commissioner and company, when we would talk about student-facing, student-forward proposals, we were told point blank with a smirk, you don't represent kids.
No more harm! 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 No more harm!
Our kids are the reason we do what we do. They are our focus. They are our bread and butter. We care for them, we educate them, we stand up, we represent. After a year and a half of probably the nastiest negotiations ever, it was decided, because we were going to bring the commissioner to court because we didn't think that she had the authority to throw away our contract, she decided that she was going to try to negotiate. They asked for ridiculous things that had nothing to do with students. No more seniority, lesson plans, all micromanaging minutia that would never serve the students that we serve. We put out proposals to have our parents have BCI checks at the cost of the union. We put proposals for our MLL parents and families to engage with us so that we could do what was best for them in choosing curriculum that meets their needs. We proposed student and parent facing committees, and she said, I don't rule by committee. Fast forward, we got a contract. It wasn't a great contract, it was a good contract. It was relatively fair considering what was happening. And now we find ourselves in negotiations again. But now we are currently the hot potato of Providence public politics. The state doesn't want us anymore, and the city doesn't want us back. So we are stuck between a rock and a hard place, quite literally. So I implore all of you, parents, students, teachers, paras, anyone who is in your school district, to take care of each other. Because without each other, and without my brothers and sisters and siblings and family members from RAFT, my brothers and sisters who are here today in the delegation, my executive board, we would not have been able to overcome the obstacle that was the commissioner of Rhode Island at Department of Education. Without my siblings at AFT, without being on a call, literally with Randy and company every other week and sometimes every other day, I would not have survived as a leader. But because we came together, because we had focus, because we engaged our families and we engaged our students, we prevailed. And we will continue to prevail. So HISD, I want you to hear me and hear me carefully. You have the weight of the Providence Public School Teachers Union and the weight of the RIFT behind you. We will stand next to you, we will stand with you, we will stand behind you to fight this bond. Peace and solidarity, folks.
Thank you. This is happening everywhere, but everywhere we are, When our schools are under attack, what do we do? When our schools are under attack, what do we do? When our schools are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! Thank you! Alright. I want to give special attention to this next speaker. Our student is here. The voice of the hour is here. I would like to bring up from our fantastic Southside Worthing High School, Miss Remy Smith.
Well, hey y'all. I had a speech, but long story short, my mouth is lying. Let me pull up my speech. My name is Remy Smith. I am a student from Ebony Worthing High School. I am now a senior. Watching the NES system has drastically changing my school. It has made me see the importance of public education and learning as a whole. The NES system has violated student public rights. A simple task of going to the bathroom has turned into 9 passes a year, not being able to go to the bathroom for specific reasons, things like that. And we have to go to the bathroom with a traffic cone, which is very unsanitary, and kids are kind of nasty. Teachers are being bullied into submission, bullied out of their careers. A lot of my teachers have kids, have families, things like that. What else? The new curriculum is horrible. I'm stressed out, I'm tired, everything is gloomy, and the atmosphere is just anxiety and stress. I'm only in high school, but the NES system is targeting elementary school kids. So ask a 3rd grader, ask a 4th grader, ask anybody of that age, and they'll tell you worse. And if I feel like I'm under stress, imagine the little kids that are under stress. I will continue to be a voice for the pre-K through 12 kids that don't have a voice, and I will continue to fight to get Miles out of the office. No trust, no bond!
No trust, no bond. No trust, no bond. No trust, no bond. Thank you, Remy. Each time we hear the stories from our students, particularly from our students, in real dramatic ways, it shows and points out to us what the actual cost of a couple of points on a standardized test may mean. It's costing our kids their humanity. It's costing our kids their joy. It's costing our kids healthy relationships so that they could become the healthy citizens we need them to become. Test scores are not the end-all and the be-all. Relationships, strong foundations, knowing how to talk to and treat one another, putting humanity at the center of our education and treating each other like a simple human being is far more important than any test score. And that's the lesson that we need to learn in HISD right now, because that's what's being stripped from our kids. And we wouldn't be able to do this, just as Mary Beth said, we would not be able to do this alone. We are thankful that we have the strength of our siblings across this country. And we are thankful for our elected representative who helps us in these matters. I'd like to bring up our national president, Randy Weingarten.
Well, after the last few minutes, I don't think I have a voice left. So I don't have feet left, although they were amazing, what all of you have done, and I'm going to learn to wear those boots. I promise you. Look, this is what I have been in this square and in this amphitheater any number of times over the years, fighting the good fight with Zeph, with Texas Federation, with Houston,
We were here, I think someone reminded me, with Elizabeth Warren. But what's going on in Houston is really despicable and duplicitous. Before the takeover, Houston's schools were on the ascendancy. They had a really good superintendent. They were making progress in every one of the measures that these testing maniacal people had put in their place. So it was like this obstacle course, and they were actually pursuing and actually getting through the obstacle course and making progress. As Jackie just said, they had become a B-rated district. So you know that what has happened here is not on the level. You know it had nothing to do with education, with children. It had everything to do, I was just watching to see if I was okay with Zeph. It had everything to do with power and control and with Abbott's agenda to kill public schools. And that is the most important thing I can say. And then, if you couple that with what you heard from Zeph and myself on the stage in the last few days, which is Abbott doesn't care about public schools in the entire state. That's why you see all the Texans up here. He doesn't care. What he cares about is what the billionaires want him to do. What he cares about is what his positioning is with the billionaires in America. If he cared about what happened in public schools, he would have been in a very different position about Uvalde. If he cared about what happened in the public schools, he would have never accepted Yass's money, millions of dollars, to basically defeat Republican legislators who cared about their public schools. If he cared about the public schools, which is where most of the kids in Texas go, he would have never coupled vouchers with school aid. He would have said, okay, we'll have to fight on vouchers, but we're going to actually give our districts the money for school aid. The people who care about the public schools are standing right here, right now. They're standing on the stage, and they're standing here. So, part of what we need to do is send Mike Miles a message. And this is just going to be, it's not going to be a multiple choice A, B, C, D. These are just yes or no questions. You got me? So, let me ask you, has Superintendent Miles made Houston's public schools better? Has Miles allowed teachers the freedom to teach in the way they need to and the way they were trained? Is Miles allowing teachers to meet the needs of children? Has Miles fired great teachers and principals? See, that was good. Has Miles hired more than 800 uncertified teachers to fill vacancies? Would a hospital hire uncertified surgeons to do surgery? Would a law firm, well maybe they would a law firm hire uncertified attorneys who hadn't passed the bar? No. So, let me ask you a couple more. Has Mike Miles, instead of having libraries, has he's closed libraries and made them into detention centers? Yes. Did Mike Miles move Texas school funds to his Colorado charter school? Yes. Is Mike Miles good for this school district? No. Is Mike Miles send their kids? Educators want to work and kids thrive? Will you help us keep working with and supporting the Houston Federation of Teachers? I don't know, Jackie, I think they got an A+. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for that support. %60-some-odd of our students in HISD are of Hispanic origin. Many of them, Spanish is their native language. Many before them came. My grandfather spoke Spanish, and we lost that. I lost that. It was lost from my heritage because 40 years ago, we didn't have those supports in schools, and we integrated in a different way. And what we see happening in HISD now is that the same things that happened 40 years ago, the loss of supports, the inability to understand that bilingualism is a superpower, is robbing our kids of the opportunity to be able to double and triple and quadruple the communication that they have across this planet. Those things in a multicultural, multifaceted, geographically integrated society are probably more important than any other skill that we teach. Having students enrolled in bilingual, multilingual education programs, dual language programs. Look, the last time we had a semi-fascist superintendent here was Terry Greer. Most of the folks that know would probably say, in comparison, Terry Greer was a saint to what we have in Mike Miles. He at least got a few things right. Dual language programs increased exponentially in HISD. There was, you have to give Dr. Greer credit, he at least had enough of an academic understanding that he knew where the future was and he knew what our students needed, at least in those ways. This one doesn't even care enough or have enough respect for our profession to even bother getting certified himself. So it's no wonder we have uncertified teachers all over the place. It's no wonder we're losing our programs and supports. So I think an important voice to hear from are parents, bilingual parents, parents that want to make sure their kids have that superpower now and into the future. So I want to bring up today Myra Ramirez to share with us her thoughts on our school system for her kids. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Mayra. I come from Neff Elementary in the south side of Houston. And I want to raise my voice for all those kids cannot talk. All the people don't understand English. All the people feel, pain because they're destroying our teachers, our community. They don't care about us. They just want money. That's all they want. They put in people without certified. They destroying our kids, and we want to fight for all those kids. They cannot talk, they cannot raise the voice. They scaring our teachers. They firing our directors. They trying to make a big mess. How come in Houston this happening and nobody's doing nothing? Nobody's doing nothing for our kids. Please keep it up. Keep it up. Keep fighting. We need to fight for our community. That's what we need to do. We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need to pay more taxes to give them more money. We don't need to do that. We need better schools. They do better. They need to fire Mike Miles. He's doing bad. He's doing bad. And we don't deserve that. Our kids don't deserve that. That's why I'm here talking. For all those kids, they cannot talk. They cannot say nothing. And I know our teachers are scared teaching. Why? Because they giving them sheets with something they can sign and they cannot talk. How come in these years we are suffering this? We are not going back to retrocess to other, 40, 60 years back. We cannot go retrocess. No, we need to go up. We need to save our city. We need to save Houston. That's why I'm here. And thank you so much for letting me talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for representing our students and our families. And our final speaker to come up tonight gives voice to those that we learn from, because we knew what kind of monster we were going to deal with when he got here, because we had experience from when he was in Dallas. And to talk about that and share those experiences, I want to bring up Dr. Patricia Doyle.
Hello. I'm Dr. Patricia Doyle, and I'm here from Alliance AFT, the logo for Dallas ISD, to let you know that we stand in solidarity with those in Houston ISD in opposing the takeover of Houston School District and the appointment of Mike Miles as superintendent. We have the unfortunate insight into the workings of Mike Miles, as he was hired by our school board to reform our schools when TEA Commissioner Mike Morath was on our school board. He had lofty goals and empty promises. He came into Dallas ISD from Colorado with his bullying tactics and his demeaning attitude and tore apart the fabric of our communities and our school district. The damage he caused continues today, years after he left our district. Because of Mike Miles, teachers in our district continue to be assessed under the Teacher Excellence Initiative, or TEI, in which teachers receive merit pay increases based on several factors, but most heavily is reliant on STAR test scores and student surveys. We all know that teaching is about more than standardized test scores and student surveys. Students are more than just numbers on a page. But Mike Miles has turned education into a factory. He's churning out a false narrative that because students have higher test scores, they are learning more. He has made teaching a formula. There is no room for creativity, no room for discussions that foster independent veins of study, no critical thinking, only performing on a test. He does not believe in collaboration. In fact, he said himself he believes in competition. This has put teachers in opposition to one another, competing for money, instead of paying a universally fair wage. Under TEI, your years of experience, your level of education, and your dedication as an educator mean nothing. All with the promise of the elusive six-figure salary. But here's the catch. The rules change every year because we don't have the funds to pay teachers based on their performance. Instead, good teachers languish at a level that stagnates their pay and just give up and leave. I'd like to share a story about my friend Ann. Ann was a kindergarten teacher at my local elementary school and beloved by both colleagues and students. She was creative and fun, and kids loved to come to school and loved learning. She planted the seed that made them curious, critical thinkers. Ann retired at the age of 51 after 29 years of teaching and 10 other superintendents because of Mike Miles. In his first year as superintendent, over 6,000 teachers left or were forced out. At a time where teachers are vitally and desperately needed, we cannot afford to lose them. I urge the parents and the citizens of Houston to continue to stand up for Houston ISD, for its teachers and all school personnel. I urge you to keep up the fight for fairness and don't allow the bullying to set a precedent for other districts in Texas. We fought alone, but you are not alone. We are with you, and we will continue to stand with you until we are successful to save public education in Texas for all.
Thank you, Dr. Doyle. No more harm. No more harm. No more harm. No more harm. Thank you very much for being with us. That concludes our speaking program. Let's close it out on a three-chorus cheer. No trust, no bond as we leave out. No trust, no bond. No trust,